Unconventional.
You're such a fool,
That's
honestly.
what we are.
That's so not the vibe.
Jade Johnson.
Yes, Anson Henry.
Quite possibly the craziest week in track and field history.
Do you know how many times we've been like, oh my gosh, we've got to do this topic for this week's podcast? Oh, but no. And then something else happens and it's like, no, we're going to do this. No, we can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. No, we've got to do this. I mean, it was the British Olympic trials. We've been watching the US trials, which has been literally crazy. The week before, we were watching the NCAAs. I mean, it's like a lot of track and field.
Yeah, I was about to watch the Jamaican trials during the day and you were like, yeah, I'm good. I think I'm a little tracked out now. Can we turn this off?
I do love track and field. However, I was literally tracked out.
How though? That was actually very surprising because I know you're passionate about track and field. Last night I was doing some work and I was thinking to myself, dang, I wish there was some track coming on. I was up late, so with the time change, it would have been on in Oregon. And I was like, dang, I kind of miss track.
But it's like, what's your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
All right, every single day I'm going to buy you a whole entire cheesecake and you've got to just eat that whole thing every day.
Cloying.
Even if you smell a whiff of cheesecake at that point, you're just going to be like, ugh. And it might throw you over the edge where you just don't want to eat a cheesecake again. I don't want to get to that point, right? We've got a lot of track and field coming up still this season. My brain was literally mushed. I mean, it was crazy. There were so many performances. We're having all these discussions. We're seeing all these tweets, people getting involved in conversations, amazing conversations, fun conversations, very heated conversations. We're involved in these conversations as well as watching the track and field. My brain was a little bit like, okay.
So you feel like track and field is excessively sweet, rich, or sentimental, especially to a disgusting or sickening degree?
When it's been every single day.
Track and field is delicious.
It is. But
it's more like chicken wings to me, though. Not necessarily a sweet dessert. I can eat chicken wings every single day.
Yeah, but if I gave you a pile of chicken wings.
Yeah, I mean it. A lot of great results. A lot of euphoric moments. A lot of memorable moments for individuals and for the viewers. But with all the highs we see, we definitely see a lot of lows.
Well, Sha'Carri, Lord of mercy. I mean, we have to start off by first discussing how it all got started with her winning the US trials.
Which was exceptional.
Did it in a way. It was no joke.
And then she won over everyone's hearts with her interview afterwards, talking about her, went up to her grandmother and all the stuff she's been through and followers just skyrocketing through the roof. She's at 2 million on Instagram now. The way it stands right now, she's not going. There was talks about her potentially running the relay. Personally, I don't think the relay should be an option.
It's not going to be a good look.
Just bow out. You know what I'm saying? Gracefully. Let people miss you.
I feel like you could just get the world record.
Well, apparently they don't even want to put her on anchor. They want to put her on third.
Oh, hell no.
Just stay home. It's like, why?
Not for third.
But what's crazy is there's bare celebrities like heartbroken that she ain't running.
I know.
Odell Beckham Jr. I seen a shout out from Drake. I seen Snoop Dogg.
Oh, you know who the one?
Union.
Cardi B
put a video out.
She put a video talking about how she wants to be friends with her. I just want to know more about this girl. I want to be friends with her. I want to go out. I want to party with her. Like,
you know what?
Like, what is going on?
She doesn't need the Olympics. She legit has transcended. She may have thought she needed it. It may have been her childhood dream.
Yeah.
But as far as where she would want to get, usually it would be a result of winning the Olympics and becoming what she is now.
Yeah, but she needs that to cement it. She can't just do it now off of nothing. She can't just be like, okay, I'm just going to give up athletics now. I'm not running.
No, not that. I'm just saying this Olympics, this Tokyo Olympics. 2020. I should have, okay, so.
Because I'm like, dude,
this
she needs
Olympics right now,
yeah,
she really doesn't need it. She's 21. She's going to get another 1 or 2. And she already has what you would get from winning the Olympics. She has the fame. She has the notoriety. She has the love and the hate.
Do you know what I did? I saw
the Olympics really needs her.
It does.
And to be honest, with the way we've been talking about the whole IOC and like us depending on the Olympics and all that other stuff, it's almost better that they don't benefit from what she would have brought to the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
All the celebrity, one of the biggest rivalries that we've seen in women's history in 100 meters. Does the Olympics really deserve all of that? If we're thinking about going another route. When they ain't
giving shit to the athletes.
You know how much they would have gotten off of all of this?
And how much would she have seen from the Olympics? $0.
Not what she could have, not what she should have. So it's almost better that she doesn't go. Do they deserve her at this stage or what she brings? I don't think so.
No, the Olympics doesn't, but track and field does. That's the problem. But apparently the 50% who are like, and I call them the rules of the rules type people, which I'm kind of one of those people.
You kind of are.
I'm kind of one of the rules of the rules. But weed is definitely not a performance enhancer. It doesn't enhance your physical performance. Like people I've seen look drowsy and like they're laid back. They're like, hey, man, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, let's go. It's not speed.
Right.
It's weed. And maybe it takes someone like Sha'Carri Richardson, which is basically the main character of the sport. She doesn't care about being the next anything of anything when it comes to females. She wants to be the next Usain Bolt. That's who she looked up to. You know, you don't know what she's going to do.
You got Michelle Obama backing her.
Michelle Obama, Barack, them mans are going to be watching.
I think Michelle needs to step in and do something about this.
Take this out, mate. Bernice King. Martin Luther King's daughter.
Speaking of bold, Jamaicans are a little bit too happy about this whole situation with Sha'Carri.
Of course.
I seen people posting pictures of her like, yo, the girl go out and go on Sabosi and she take drugs.
This time they are
posting it happy. And it just happened to be the first story that came out was from the Jamaican Gleaner.
Of course.
They busted the story first.
Like Jamaica ain't the land of weed and happiness.
With how happy they are, they're not really giving credit to Shelly Ann because they're happy that Shelly Ann doesn't have to deal with Sha'Carri anymore. When in actuality, if they really believed in Shelly Ann, it would have been like, yo, it wouldn't have mattered if she ran or not. We should have dealt with her case. But they're doing backflips right now because of the fact that she ain't going. I just wanted to see the race, man.
I know. But unfortunately, she's not going to be running. And the funny thing is, the US trials was held in a state, Oregon, where weed is legal.
Weed is legal, yeah.
Like, you live in Canada. You're from Canada.
Toronto is legal. Yeah.
It's legal in Toronto. It's just normal.
Yeah.
You can just go and buy it. You can buy it online.
You can buy it. You can order it like pizza bread.
You know what I mean?
And she's going to miss the Olympics for some weed. You know they're going to name a strain after her, right?
A what?
They're going to name a weed strain after Sha'Carri now. You know that, right?
I don't know that world, so...
Oh, they're going to name a strain after her for sure. I'm from Toronto, you know what I'm saying? So
it's legal.
Yeah.
I don't know what that world is.
Scary Carry or that 10-5.
Yeah.
Or just that Sha'Carri. Or that Sha'Carri Berry. Maybe they put some strawberry flavor in it and I don't know.
That's not my world.
They're going to name something after her.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get it.
What was it that you were listening to? You were listening to Flow Track.
They're breaking the rule down.
They were breaking it down.
There's 3 different aspects of the rule. Now, first off, this last was updated in 2011. Okay? 2011.
They can update shoes all day long. One in 2019 and one in 20...
Because they just altered that within a few months ago.
A few months.
Anyways, number 1. Athletes who smoke cannabis or spice in competition potentially endanger themselves and others because of increased risk-taking, slower reaction times, and poor executive function and decision-making.
That really sounds enhancing.
That doesn't sound good at all. But listen to number 2. Based on current animal and human studies, as well as on interviews with athletes and information from the field, cannabis can be performance enhancing for some athletes and sports disciplines. So the first and second rule totally contradict each other.
Completely.
The first one says it's risky because of all the bad things that can happen. The second one is like, but we've done some tests and asked some questions, did some stuff with some animals, and it enhances some of them. So basically both points nullify each other. And then number 3, use of illicit drugs that are harmful to health and that may have performance enhancing properties is not consistent with the athlete as a role model for young people around the world. You have a rule that's in place that can have you lose time, lose money, lose a part of your life because you may not be a good role model. I see people posting all kinds of foolishness on Instagram or saying all kind of dumb stuff on Twitter, or you can do all kinds of things that don't make you a good role model.
You can get banned for being a bad role model. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
This is an old rule, man.
This is ridiculous. There's people out there that are top of our countries, leaders of our countries, telling us what to do with what we can and can't do, that are doing all sorts of stuff. When I did athletics, I didn't sign up to say, right, I want to be a role model and change. I wanted to be the next whatever, but I want to be myself. I want to be who I am. That's one of the reasons why I kind of rate Sha'Carri, because I love the fact that she's who she is. I love the fact she just doesn't care and she's herself, because that's authentic and that's important. That's being a role model. Being yourself. You know what they probably did? They probably interviewed athletes like me. You know me and weed.
Yeah.
I don't do the smoking thing. I'm super against weed, and because I don't like what it does to people. It does have different effect on different people.
So this is basically your fault. People
Maybe.
like you.
They didn't interview me, but what I'm saying is...
I know, but I'm just saying people of your type.
They interviewed athletes that had never smoked.
A while ago, Sha'Carri said, if she makes the team, she's going to stand up for her people. She said it.
That shit up all those white people.
Yes, because she's going to end up on the podium, potentially win. In the most anticipated event thus far,
of course,
in the games, they're potentially going to take that moment away. They have an opportunity now to take that away, because if she ever did it, that they're going to back her. They're not going to allow anyone to take her medal away. And then obviously Rule 50 we have to change, and there's going to be all kinds of things shook up in the IOC and all that kind of stuff.
USATF are like, what are you talking about? She needs to run. What are you talking about? And then the World Athletics are like, yeah, we kind of know we need her to run. We do, but at the same time, it's going to set a bad precedent. And then, Buck from IOC is like, get rid of this black girl.
Oh my gosh.
Get rid of her. She's a liability. She's going to disrupt our Olympic movement. Yes. That's what he's doing. He's on the phone right now to Seb.
Sha'Carri and what she's bringing to the game right now is going to benefit everybody.
Absolutely.
Look, if she did some real steroid, this ain't even a discussion, yo. You ain't going. That's it.
Do you know what's really interesting? When we're going back to that flow track thing that we were listening to, if you read that first rule out about what weed does, they're like, hold on, that's exactly the same as what alcohol does to people. And usually, for the most part, you list rules in the most important first, right?
Endanger themselves and others because of increased risk-taking, slower reaction times, and poor executive function and decision-making. That is a drunk person. That doesn't
just sum up a person under the influence of alcohol. I don't know what does. Alcohol ain't banned. Could you imagine them banning alcohol?
It would be ridiculous.
Right. So therefore, they need to take weed off the ban list, and that's the end of that. It's unfortunate that we have to lose one of the best... Yeah,
this will be the turning point, but it sucks that this is the turning point.
Exactly. She did an interview with the Today Show.
Yeah.
But she was very, very, very calm, and she seemed to just accept.
Don't judge me, because I am human. I'm you. I just happen to run a little faster. I understand there's going to be people that still have something to say that don't necessarily understand. And I wouldn't even call them haters if they want to choose to show their character of a person, even after me saying what I've said, and putting myself out there, then that's just on you, your character, and you have to live with that.
Could have been trauma. She got back to her tweets though.
Yeah, but she went quiet for a hot second. And then now she's back on it again. I saw one tweet which I love. This is the funniest one. I love this one. So Raven Hulk Saunders, she's the shot putter. She basically put a tweet out saying, track athletes, y'all realize we got 5 years of straight championships. So 21 Olympics, 22 world champs, 23 world champs, 24 Olympics, 25 world champs. She was just saying in general, we got this amount of championships, damn, with all of what's going on right now, it's like we ain't got no breaks. It's just one after another, right? Obviously we have a break, especially the US team, they have a break. They have a year off somewhere in there, right? We don't in Europe because we have European championships and we also have Commonwealth Games. But they usually have a year off, so they just got 5 straight championships. But then I saw Sha'Carri tweet that saying 2022 through 2025 undefeated.
I like Shelly. You know what I'm saying? She's Jamaican too. But I just like what Sha'Carri's bringing to the sport, man.
I think that's what it is. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day, I think it was yesterday, was a Jamaican that was super angry. How no one ain't respect. Do you know what Shelly-Ann's done? Do you know what the Queen has brought to this sport?
She got the stats, absolutely.
She's got the stats. You can't run with that. But that's what was really good about it. What I love about it is that she's Jamaican. She's a mum. She's doing her thing, whatever. Quite godly and, you know, reserved, I would say. Mm-hmm. You've still got that vibrance, though. Even though Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is reserved and she's still got that Jamaican vibe, right? Sha'Carri, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. Yeah. And you know the rivalry between the US and Jamaica in sprints. It's always been it. Whether or not it was Donovan Bailey, he's Jamaican. Whether it was Linford Christie, he's Jamaican, from Jamaican roots. You know what I mean? Against these Americans. It's always been about Jamaicans and Americans. You know, a few people splattered in there, you know, here and there. But it would have been a good... man. And the thing is, no one ain't taking nothing away from Shelly-Ann. She's crazy good. And the fact that she's come back from being, you know, a mother and running what she's running, totally take your hat off. But it's just not going to be the same excitement.
And Jamaicans are taking offense.
They really are.
But come
They're
on.
Vexed.
It would have been good for Shelly. If Sha'Carri ran.
Of course. Because she's kind of towards the end of her career. Shelly-Ann.
And that's what I don't like about her not running this year either, is that
she ain't going to have that rivalry.
She'll run next year at Worlds. Maybe Shelly ain't going to be in the same shape she's in this year. I feel like this is Shelly's peak.
I think it is.
And I don't know what's going to happen next year. So we know they're both coming in hot. Mm-hmm. So even if Sha'Carri beats her next year, it's kind of like, nah.
It's not the same. They're both, it's like the excitement is built to this and then it's kind of kind of deflated. But track and field Twitter went berserk. And the funniest thing is, it wasn't just track and field Twitter. It seemed like the world that has no idea about it got involved too, which was hilarious. Seeing the tweets from people that really don't have any idea, like, what? Weed? Really? There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. Because you know that all they do all day long is blaze. However, what I will stick with is that she knew the rule, no matter how dumb, irrelevant and prehistoric this rule is and should already be changed. At that time, she knew it was that. You want to smoke the weed? You're an adult. It's consequences. I know you roll the eyes, but that's it. I just feel like it's about getting the rules changed. That's it.
I want to see her at the games.
I do.
And
I think a lot of people do.
There's a point where silly rules can interfere with the advancement of the sport. That's happening a lot in track and field right now. Rules are getting in the way of people being allowed to perform, people being disqualified, ultimately people being able to make a living. It's
the same. That's why me and you used to get into heated battles about the whole Coleman thing because of the missed tests. And he knows what the rule is. The rule is stupid. It's unfair, the way that they do the rule. But my whole stance always is going to be, you know the rule. If you then, as a conscious thinking person, choose to break it, you know what you're willing to deal with the consequences. See me, I'm one of those people that don't like consequences. In all aspects of life, I'm like, do I want to deal with the consequences of that? Nah, so I ain't doing it. And let me tell you, there could be a rule that I think's real dumb and I'm going to break it because I feel like I'm willing to deal with the consequences of it because it means that much. You know, like we talk about Gwen Berry. She's going to go up there and put up her fist or do whatever and make a protest. Why? And guess what? The consequences might be she's going to get a gold medal or a medal. If she wins a medal, get it taken away from her. She's like, do you know what? This cause means more to me than the medal. It's a bigger cause. So you know what? I'm willing to break that rule. That is the dumb... See that rule 50? That's a dumb rule. But yeah, it's there and she's going to choose to break it or not. But she knows to deal with the consequences of it. Do you see what I mean? You got to then go, I knew that was going to happen. It's worth it to me. Miss Gwen Berry, who we spoke about in one of our previous podcasts, the IOC ban BLM, Black Lives Matter, and that whole scenario. We talked about her situation and her protests at the Pan American Games in 2019. Anyway, Gwen had tweeted, don't play with me. And it was her picture, I think it was from the Washington Post or something, of her like standing there looking like not amused, like standing there with her hand on her hip, with her hip like pushed out to the side. Like, now they play the national anthem at the US trials. around about once in the whole trials. I mean, it's the American-US trials, so you don't need to play the national anthem after every medal ceremony because they're all Americans. So it's just a way to give them their medal, right? Cool. It just so happens that they decided to play the national anthem while the medal ceremony for the women's hammer was happening.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry. They blatantly did that because they wanted to see what she was going to do. They wanted to put her on the spot. So imagine all the other people got on the podium. They never played it. So they did it when she was on it. And she's like, don't play with me. Meaning, you're going to try and put me out there to see whether I'll do what I'm... Don't do that because you know this isn't a game. This is not no game to me. This is like what I believe in. The backlash was crazy. Now, this happened before the whole Sha'Carri thing. This is why it's crazy. And I'm talking like crazy to the point where Senate, Fox News, this person, that person are talking about Gwen Berry. And they are people coming at her. I'm talking coming at her like hate. Enough responses. Why would you want to compete for your country at the Olympics? That's the point of doing the Olympics, to compete for your country and support the flag of your country. No, it's not. What are you actually talking about, you dumb people? I was thinking to myself, in that case, Russia? What are Russia doing the Olympics for? What athletes are for Russia competing for then? Because they ain't competing for their country and they ain't competing for their flag because they're banned. The whole entire nation of sport banned from the Olympics, in every Olympic sport, in all the sports, winter and summer Olympics. They're called a neutral athletes for a neutral country. So when you stand on the rostrum and you're ANA, these people don't know what they're talking about. So then none of those athletes then under their like logic should be competing at the Olympics. She's better than me because I wouldn't be able to cope mentally. Because I'll be too emotional. I love her responses as well. On Fox News, they did it, right, with this one guy. And he's like, she needs to get thrown out of the Olympics. She doesn't deserve to compete at the Olympic Games. If she doesn't respect the country and the flag and she hates it, then why didn't she just go somewhere else? All this stuff. And she's like, wow, you're really passionate. I saw a tweet from Will Clay, triple jumper. And he said, the messages that people are sending Gwen Berry really hurts my soul, man. Gwen, I stand by you and hope one day the people of this country understand that everything you're doing is for the love, in capitals, of your people, not because you hate this country. That is so true. It's like, but the thing about social media, the thing about the media, the news, they don't know the whole story. They see her doing that and then people have start attacking her, being nasty. Long story short is, she does not feel like she and her experience and her people, black people's experience of what those words are saying is true. Why would you respect something that doesn't include you? If anything, it excludes you.
Social media is like, it's become this thing now where it's not being utilized the way it was supposed to be in the first place. Yeah, it was supposed to bring people together, but it's bringing people together to bring them apart, it seems like. What do you think about the whole tampering situation with Rollins-McNeal? I don't know their business. I don't know why she would have gotten the abortion or whatever. But I'm assuming it's because she's defending Olympic champion going into an Olympic year, got pregnant, and had to have an abortion. She didn't want to say anything to the testers initially, missed a test because of it. Subsequently had to tell them about it. When she did tell them about it, there were some clerical errors as far as the dates, as far as when the abortion happened. And because of the clerical errors, instead of getting in trouble for the missed test, she got in trouble for tampering.
Because she changed the date by like 24 hours or something like that, right? And
tampering it's not a 2-year ban, it's a 5-year ban. Mm-hmm. It would have been better for her to just miss the test and not even give a reason why.
Exactly.
And she would have just got a missed test. I don't know how many she has, but it wouldn't have been 5 years. She would have been better off missing the test and having no excuse. She's done, yo.
She's totally done. This is it.
I feel like they'll appeal it and it may bring it down a bit.
Let me just start by saying this. People are nasty. Anyone who knows me, and even if you listen to some of our podcasts, I ain't really got no time for no drug people, no drug cheats. I ain't even really got time for people who do dumb stuff when it comes to missing tests, if they do know what the rule is. And I was one of the athletes that was very, very stringent. So I never missed no test. Never once did I miss a test in my life. Now, am I tested as much as X, Y, or Z? Maybe I'm not as tested as much as, Christian Coleman or whatever. But I don't know whether or not she was trying to miss the tests or she was hiding in her house on that Sunday because she was really taking drugs and she just wanted to evade the testers and use an abortion, as an excuse. And maybe she changed the date because she was trying to be fraudulent. I don't know. But the facts of the matter also are the fact that she had an abortion. And how do you know that she didn't really want that baby, but as an athlete defending her title, because this happened in January, you'd wake up on the 1st of January or on New Year's Eve and you'd be like, oh my God, it's Olympic year next year. It's a different feel, man. It's a different mindset. Imagine you go into oh shit, it's Olympic year. Oops, I'm pregnant. Fuck, I really want to keep this kid, but I can't. This is probably going to be my last Olympics. I need to make this decision. No one even knows all this, but what it kind of feels like to me from what she's saying and the vibe that she's given is this was a really emotionally, mentally challenging, psychological thing that she went through. I'm sure there's people out there that have been in situations where they may have had abortions and it's yeah, whatever. But I'm sure there's people out there that have had abortions and it's been the most devastating, traumatic time that years down the line, they're still thinking about it. What if? And the worst thing for her is if it was something that she did for the sport, she's now been banned for 5 years. So she did it for no reason.
That sucks.
Sport is important, right? Track and field, we love it. But at some point, you have to be rational and put people first. Rules the rules, that's what everyone's saying. But there is a chance that what she's saying is the truth. So this all happened. She went through that. She went to the trials. She had to deal with it. She made the team. She came second. With all of that stress on her head, her brother just literally passed away. She knows she's going through this appeal and this trial and whatever. And then it comes to the fact that they've decided they're going to ban her for 5 years. Her career's done. And then people are like, yeah, really, an abortion. Okay, yeah, whatever. Do you know what? She tampering, she deserves it. She needs to go. Saying some really nasty shit, really nasty stuff about her. I don't understand that. What is wrong with people? Track and field is important to us athletes or former athletes and fans, but it's not more important than someone's life, someone's mental health. She said, lost my baby brother literally a month ago, 2 weeks before the trials, as if this case and everything else I've been enduring isn't a lot. Some of you could never. I just seek God every day. You'll have no idea. ... I'm out. With 3 exclamation marks. And that's what I don't think she was I'm out like that. I think she's I'm out of this conversation, you lot are long. But I'm out, who knows? That could be I'm out. And then people are just going still saying stuff. What's it going to take for people to be oh, whoopsie daisy? Is this girl going to have to commit suicide?
That's what it seems like.
No, this is a serious
That's what the wake
thing.
up call would be. If a situation like this arised and it drew someone to where they off themselves, that's when people would be whoa.
I need to read
their tweets would be getting deleted because they wouldn't want any recollection of what they had said or what
they will be complicit in.
But they don't realize that they're bringing people close to that or giving people thoughts of that.
Because what they're doing is they're so detached. This year has created everything everyone's gone through. I think a lot of people are traumatized without really knowing it. All the things the whole world has had to go through and all the uncertainty and all that, you've had to kind of desensitize yourself because I feel just to cope a little bit for the most part, right? Because it's craziness. But we need to try and stay connected to our humanity. And I feel enough people have lost it. And I'm sorry, but it's not okay. Let's say she took drugs to try and cheat. You think that deserves the way that you're treating her to the point where she might kill herself? Because she also did go through an abortion and her brother just died. So oh well, you deserve it. Is that what you think if she killed herself? Because she took drugs? Do you not think she's experienced enough? People are nasty, man. They're cruel. I don't care. There needs to come a time where you just need to think, ooh, what would I be going for if I ever lost someone in my life? Raw, what did that feel like? Have I ever been in a really, really tough situation? I feel like people are just talking because they can.
Everyone's just too accessible. You can reach and touch anybody now. People are loose with what they say, what they think, their opinions, their thoughts of someone else that they'll let them see. Before social media, people used to do that stuff behind closed doors. If you got some fucked up shit to say, you'd say it to your friends or to a closed circle. It doesn't get back to whoever you're talking about, whether it's another person that you know or whether it's a celebrity. There's no separation anymore. And imagine being a celebrity and having thousands or hundreds of thousands of people throwing hate at you. Yo, some people can't even stand having one person hate them. Or two.
I know.
But it's like you got hundreds of thousands of people hating you or wishing the worst on you or thinking you're lying and thinking that you deserve everything you're getting. It's like...
Listen, I saw a tweet the other day from an athlete. I don't even know who he is. So that just shows. But Michael Johnson said something that I blatantly didn't agree with, right? Like it was something to do with that.
The final three
rule, right? And he said something that made no sense. Like Michael Johnson, no. But some random guy's like, listen, my guy, do you even have any friends that are you nuts? Like Michael Johnson wasn't even talking to this person. He's just putting his opinion out. And he was actually responding to Jeremy Warner, who basically was standing by the fact that it's dumb, that rule. If you were in Michael Johnson's face, are you going to say, listen, my guy? No, you're not. You're just not going to do that. You would probably piss in your pants because you're seeing Michael Johnson. Shut up. Honestly.
But it gives people courage too. That's another thing social media does. But if I was having a conversation with, say I'm having a conversation with you and one of my friends came and interrupted the conversation and interjected their piece, I'd be like, yo, you don't see us talking? But imagine a total stranger coming up in the middle of the conversation like, my guy, blah, blah. Like, who are you for one? And for two, we're talking. On Twitter, you're allowed to witness a conversation between two people, like a Michael Johnson and a Jeremy Warner. Yes. Sit, enjoy, watch their conversation. They're two prominent people in the sport. See what they have to say.
And if you do want to interject,
have some manners.
Respectful.
Yes.
All I'm saying is people have lost touch with their humanity, man. Get a little bit back because being disconnected from each other is not the way forward. Let me tell you that.
I always connect with that side.
I know you do always.
But the bad thing is if you do, then people think that you're supporting cheaters. I want to say stay strong, but I mean, how many times has she heard that? And how easy is that to say?
I know.
It's just going to be a shitty time for a little while, yo.
Yeah. But you know what I like?
But a lot of people are supporting her, yo. So a lot of people are supporting you. So
they are supporting her.
Do with it what you can.
Well, we already know that Omar McLeod, reigning Olympic champion.
Yes.
He goes to his nationals. They mess around with the timing. They move it to the next one, 8 a.m.
It was supposed to happen the night before. They changed it last second.
Right. He catches a cramp because of this. Or who knows why. Comes like 8th because he can't run the hurdles. And we're like, well, obviously he's the reigning Olympic champion. He's got to go. Omar ain't been picked. I mean, all those other guys did it. Great. Good for them. But the only time you'll ever run 8 in the morning is if you're doing a first round. And it wouldn't even be 8 in the morning. You're Olympic champion, man. You're used to competing at like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. All the Diamond Leagues, nighttime. So you're not used to it. Your brain is not, your body and your mind is not switched on at that time. You know how sprinters are. No one ain't getting out of bed and being ready to do nothing at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No.
So, and I tell you this right now, Omar was never thinking about, no disrespect to their mans, right? He knew that they were a challenge, but Omar weren't thinking about their mans.
No.
His brain was already at the Olympics, right? He's already like, how the fuck am I going to take on this dude that just ran 12:81 on my ass? Right. How am I going to, this is what all he's thinking about. He's like, right, this is just a formality, get through this thing. All of a sudden now, when they tell him, oh, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, the next one, he's like, what? What do you mean? So now he ain't ready for that. He's just thinking, but maybe it's not a morning person. And you can't drop it on a man next at the last minute, the night before. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but we know they've had some of the greatest athletes, but they are then that great that you can just laugh out the Olympic champion who's number 2 in the world, but only by Grant Holloway, who at the US trials runs 12:81, 1/100th off of the world record. Omar McLeod 13:01 this year and bare 13:0 runs, was about to pop out a big one. That's going to be a great head to head. And you're that big as a country that you can leave this man out of the team. Listen,
big up Jamaica, by the way. We got Jamaican blood. You know what I'm saying?
We got Jamaican blood.
Let's be real about this.
This is like, no.
I bet you if he was training in Jamaica, they would make a change for this. But he's over there training in foreign.
That's why.
So that's why it's like, no, we have 3 people. So that's what it is, yo. Ronald Levy, Damian Thomas, Hansel Parchment.
Hansel?
You know, people call me Hansel.
I know. Hansel.
Yeah. Those guys are all good, by the way. But none of them are Omar. None of them are going to contend with Grant. The only person that could have gotten in Grant's way is Omar. And Jamaica had the opportunity to have another medal shot. And they seem to want to just throw that away for whatever reason. You know, if you're defending champion and you're top 3 in the world, you shouldn't even have to compete at your trials. I don't care if anybody else has a standard. No.
I don't think so. I saw Catherine Merry, who's a British 400 meter runner. She actually won a bronze medal at the Sydney Olympics, and she's very, very outspoken about the fact that he needs to be there. And she's even said that he should have a wild card. I was in very much agreement. What I personally think is that gold medalists in and of themselves are a little team. I feel like they've earned a right. They should have a right to...
They add to the event. Like, you are the defending champion.
Right.
Someone has to take you down, take your championship.
Exactly.
Right.
Everyone knows, you watch boxing, if you're the defending champion, you've got the belt, it's a belt fight, right? It's better.
You're fresh, by the way.
Why?
Because you said it's a belt fight. It's a title fight, Bridget. It's a fight for the title. Because it's a belt fight.
Catherine Merry was saying that, don't get rid of someone else that already made it, but just take a fourth. He deserves it. He's the Olympic champion. They do that at the World Championships. Yeah. They take a fourth member. If you can take 4 on a team if you've got a current Olympic world champion. So Catherine does that. I do a little tweet. I feel a reigning in form Olympic champion who has the Olympic standard should be allowed to defend their title. If that means a 4th member on a team, like for Worlds, then so be it. Rules are rules, but I think this addition to the rules would be a good one. Changing it to allowing a 4th member if it's a reigning Olympic champion, like you just said. I start reading the comments. People are like, no, there's a rule. He didn't make it. Well, he knew what the rule was. He should have, that's just what it is. He shouldn't have
cramped.
And there's
a rule for a medical exemption too, though.
Oh, because he had a medical exemption.
Right.
And there's a rule for that.
And you have to be apparently top 3 in the world to be able to qualify under those circumstances. And he is number 2 in the world, number 1 before the weekend. And for some reason, that didn't pan out.
He's pissed someone off.
Yeah.
So Pole Vault Power, who we very much like, big up Pole Vault Power on Twitter.
Pole Vault Power.
Clearly love pole vault, but they're very, very active and very passionate about the world of track and field. Respect. And they're in all of the, I get lots of my information from their retweets and what they do when I look. Yeah, they're in everything, which I really love. So they responded and they said, then perhaps it should be best to lobby the IOC for more spots. Otherwise, every federation will use that 4th spot and a number of athletes would lose their spot. There is a fixed number of athletes allowed in an Olympics, unlike the World Championships. And I thought, to me, I'm thinking like the Worlds. Obviously, the IOC, the Olympics has a different rule, which basically they only can take a fixed amount of athletes overall for each sport. So that means that obviously they've worked it out in a certain way that would basically mean someone else loses a spot. But this is where I feel like we need to, like Pole Vault Power says, we need to lobby the IOC to get them to change that rule.
To make more spots?
To make a couple more spots. How many times is probably going to happen? It's not. And it's going to be very specific circumstances. They have to be very in form.
All the good results we had, they get overshadowed with this stuff, yeah.
Kind of. Most of them, not all of them though.
Kinda.
A couple of them were ridiculous.
So there was the Gwen situation, the Sha'Carri situation, the Brianna situation. And then now we're not going to see the clash of world champion versus Olympic champion now that Omar ain't going to the Olympics. But there's 2 world records and almost a world record in the men's 110 meter hurdles.
You know what? You're saying this in really like a drabby way. Dude, you're like, oh, now there's 2 world records, 1 world record. I'm not going to see. No.
And we're just coming off of talking all that stuff.
No,
but that's what it's doing to the sport. That's basically what it's doing.
Well, it is, but...
We can't deny the fact that all this heavy stuff takes away from everything good that's happening. This is what it is. And I love everything that's happening. I love track and field, and I'm hyped
but
about
we
everything.
don't have to. Look. Overall, it did overshadow all of the things that were happening that were good. But I mean, if we just put that to the side and we just now focus on that.
I hear you, but I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm putting that to the side, and you bring all the heavy stuff because that's where your mind is.
That would have gone with what's prominent right now.
Okay, forget you. Guess what? I'm going to talk about this.
Okay,
Let
cool.
me tell you. No, you're right. It's not.
But okay, no, but in all honesty, when Sydney broke that world record, we didn't have none of the news yet, right? So when she did that, it was like, wow, man. Like, it just capped off an amazing US trials. World record. And she's like she seems like a figure that's going to have some longevity in the sport. Like, yeah. I like she just has a presence. She's good. She speaks well. But I just feel like this athlete in Sydney McLaughlin is going to be the athlete that's going to have longevity. She's going to be on top for a while. To run 51.90 in the 400 meter hurdles, I mean, to run that in an open 400 is quite respectable. Like you can, in some countries, you're making relay teams with that.
Well, I heard, though, that's the standard that you have to have had to go to the US trials.
For real?
In the 400.
She did that over some hurdles.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
The fluidity over the hurdles, the stuff that Bobby Kersey did with her, because obviously she changed from Joanna Hayes.
Yeah.
You know what? It makes sense. Joanna Hayes was coached by Bobby Kersey. So you're with that person, cool, and now you're just going to go to the main man. Right. What are you talking about? So clearly he had her running 100-meter hurdles all year, taught her about the hurdles. Do you know what I don't understand? 400-meter hurdlers who don't work on the hurdles. You're a hurdler. You need to know how to hurdle.
Right.
And what she's done is she's improved her hurdles greatly. I mean, Dalilah Muhammad has got a really nice, clean hurdle technique. Fluid over the hurdles as well. I think that's where she had the edge before. Because
I think Sydney's flat speed was better than Dalilah, but Dalilah was a better hurdler, I think.
So I think that's probably what they discussed and was like, this is what we're going to have to do. Because she went indoors running hurdles, 60-meter hurdles. Then she came outdoors only running like 100-meter hurdles.
Do you remember that New Balance meet we watched? And we saw her run. We're like, yo.
What, indoors?
This season's going to be rough.
She ran like 8 seconds.
It was bad.
Something.
I remember we were watching the meet. We were like, yo.
But then she went down.
Is she about to flop?
She was a bit like, oh.
That was tough.
She's clearly extremely talented, a quick learner.
Yeah.
I mean, the first woman ever under 52 seconds. And you know what's crazy is that Dalilah came second with 52.42, something like that, and looked really good. Yeah. Took it out, give it to Sydney. Yeah. And she's been injured. She was ill.
Yeah,
she had COVID.
It was a good race for her. It's a good indicator for her.
Shamir Little, who was due to come, she should have come third, stumbled over one of the hurdles. And then that was it. Her race was done.
Yep.
The all-time list in the women's 400-meter hurdles has changed quite a bit in the last few weeks. That's via Athletics Weekly. And they've put down the top 5. Sydney McLaughlin, 51.90. Dalilah Muhammad, 52.16. Some Russian chick, I don't know how to... 52.34. Femke Bol, 52.37. And Shamir Little, 52.39. Dude, I remember the days, right? Because I'm British. So I remember the days, 92, Barcelona. I remember Barcelona. You know that? You know that's. I feel like that's the best ever Olympic theme tune. No, everyone remembers that one. I don't remember any of the others.
There's Olympic theme songs?
Yes, dude. And you know who did it? Queen.
I'm going to have to look that up. I ain't never heard that song.
Yes, you have. Dude, you're not a proper athletics fan.
I mean, who cares about the song, Bridget?
Because it's super... With the events? Anyway, in 1993, the year after the Olympics, Sally Gunnell, British, she broke the world record in the World Championships. But in 92 at the Olympics, she won the gold medal. But I think her best was like something like 52.7. That's what she broke the world record with. Dude, this chick's not even in the top 10 now. I'm like, what is going on right now in this hurdles? The men's 400-meter hurdles.
Well, I still think Rai Benjamin is going to give Carson Warholm a good run for his money.
You don't sound so convincing.
I actually thought he had more of a chance to win. He still got a chance now, but this is the problem with Carson Warholm. If y'all don't know, Carson Warholm just broke Kevin Young's world record in the 400-meter hurdles. It used to be 46.78.
Mm-hmm.
He now
Rai
broke
Benjamin just ran 46.82 to win the US trials.
Yes, and looked very good.
Very good.
Took it out hard out of the blocks. 50 to 80 meters, ran hard, coasted down the backstretch, and then you could see him hit it again for the last 200 meters, came through in that time. as time goes on, it'll get faster because he'll take it out a little bit longer in the beginning part of the race. And then who knows what he'll run. Yo, Warholm at home in Oslo, I swear he sprinted the whole race. I swear he blasted out of blocks and just sprinted, yo. It looked like he was running a deuce. He was at like a 200-meter pace, it looked like. He sprinted the whole thing and ran 46.70. I don't see how he's going to lose. Because it's just not within Rai Benjamin's race pattern as far as I see it right now. He's going to have to hope that Carson Warholm messes up somehow throughout the race. And I rarely see Warholm really disrupt his race with hurdles. Even when he hits hurdles, he doesn't lose momentum. Rai Benjamin is going to have a perfect race, it seems like.
Monaco, on the 9th of this month, was supposed to be a head-to-head, which I was like, what? I don't want to be honest, on the realist, I know I've been the one cussing, like the man them that don't head-to-head up before, you know, like the championships.
Yeah.
Like, but obviously when that was announced that Rai Benjamin and Carsten Warholm was going to be doing it, that was before he broke the world record. All of a sudden, Rai Benjamin ain't coming to Europe and doing the European tour. He's staying at home.
I admire the chess move, but at the same time, he was the one that pulled out. Chess move's cool, but if you imagine two guys staring at each other and one guy turns and walks away.
Why in God's green earth are you going to take your ass on a plane to Europe so close to the Olympics? Put yourself in a situation where you ain't 100%.
Yeah, but you were cool doing it before he blaps the 46.70 though.
Yeah, but he's fresh.
Karsten.
Yes.
Right.
He ain't even had to do his trials.
Rai Benjamin's trials weren't really the same trials as it was for everyone else, though. His U.S. trials wasn't the typical U.S. trials. Like, he had a fairly easy trials. I don't think he's that burnt out from the trials. I think that was a good practice meet for him.
Me, in my head, I'm like, why are you going to put yourself out there? Like, so close. If it was a different time, if it was like June, like May, I'd be like, do it. Like, if it was one of the earlier meets in Doha or something, then do it. Because you need to race him. And then see, but not right now. And I think it'll be anticlimactic. Definitely. Because one of them's going to lose. You're already going to see the race.
I think it's a preview.
No. See, what happens? You love a preview of a movie. I don't want to see. I would read it. I want to get a vibe.
Do you like appetizers?
This is not going to be an appetizer. Do you know what an appetizer would be? How would that be an appetizer?
It's just a sample thing. Like, it's not even a championships.
An appetizer would be, let's see them head-to-head in a 300 and then see who wins. Because you still can't guess. You're not going to see. You don't know because you know that he comes through.
After the rounds at the Olympic Games, when the lights are on, we don't know what'll happen. The Olympics
true,
is
but
the meal.
No. Dude, it's a no from me. Listen, well, you know the craziest bit about that race? For me, wasn't even the race. It was the way this dude, when the camera came on him, did our madness.
Yeah, he's on one.
Listen,
What's his pre-race drink is what I want to know.
I don't know. But, you know, like,
he has Red Bull on his
rage going on.
I wonder if it is Red Bull.
Some roid rage. You know those guys that, you know, you see them in the gym, right?
It looks like roid rage,
looks
right?
like.
Yeah.
It looks like roid rage. Yeah.
It doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look like roid rage. I'm just saying.
I like it. It's entertaining, so I don't want him to dub it down.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, he looks different before his race, yo. Gabby Thomas ran 21:61. But I'll just say this right from the jump. I don't think she's going to win the Olympics. And I get that look from everybody.
No. You don't get the look from me.
I thought you were looking at me like I was some kind of clown.
No.
Okay. I actually had a very long argument with Addo about this.
Atto Bolden.
And he feels like she's a lock. But I feel like everyone that she's going to be facing is proven already. You have Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. You have Elaine Thompson. You have Dean Asher-Smith. They've all won an Olympics or won a world championship already in the deuce. And they're in prime form.
She's never, ever, ever been to a major championships.
I think her biggest win is at an ATL meet.
Well, that little meet.
And USA's, obviously. We have no reason to think she's going to go and swim at the Sharks like that.
She looked nuts crossing the line. I've never seen.
Yeah, it was a weird celebration.
That was the weirdest celebration. Sorry.
It was. Hey, when you're happy, you're just supposed to let your body go.
And she really did.
She did.
She really let it go.
But 21:61.
You know hold on. You know one of those ones, right? You know, like you don't think about those things, but then after that, you'll start thinking about those things. You shouldn't really think about these things. You should just let it go and let it be natural. But I guarantee she's going to see that picture as a woman. She's going to see that picture and then she's going to go, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
She looked... I don't know, but it didn't look...
I think Dina's going to win.
Dina? Obviously, British. Guam, big up the Brits.
You don't think Dina?
No. But she's a G. I want her to win. And do you want to know what I love about Dina? This girl is like stealth mode. Do you know what? You know one of those people off the track, nice, lovely, but she has got one of the best focus on your own lane attitudes. I want her to win. What she's really good at is when it comes to a major championship, she switches it on. And she's been like that for like years and years, like even from juniors, whatever. So I feel like she's going to do very, very well. And she's running extremely well. She's trimmed down. She's got in really good shape. Her technique is really good. She's very consistent. I love all of that stuff. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of really good girls. There's just so many.
You think Shelly-Ann's going to get the double?
I don't know if Shelly-Ann's going to get the double, but there's also that
Sharika
Jackson. She's got that strength. She's 400 meter runner.
She got a bronze medal in 400 in 2019.
So she's got some strength. She ran 10.77 in the Jamaican trials in the semi-final. But what about...
Elaine?
No. Milawebo.
Oh my gosh. No. I think Shani is going to win.
Jesus.
Whoa, rewind. We got to rewind on that.
But I don't know. Did you hear the other day? She's only doing the 200. I was like, what? Yeah. There ain't really no one in the 400 because Nasser is gone.
Well, Nasser being gone came out after she had said she was going to do only the 200. But after she pulled out, it would have been interesting to know if she would have wanted to run the 400 after.
No, but now this is what I'm trying to tell you. She's entered in the 2 and the 4. I just saw it yesterday. Costas, big up Costas. I saw him tweet. She's entered in the 200 and the 400. So who knows which one she's going to do.
See what I just said about Rai, about him pulling out of the 4 hurdles? It's kind of like you're giving the implication that you do have this person on your mind. Now, with her now doing the 400 because Nasser's pulled out now.
All I'm saying is she's entered for both, but she is dangerous in the 200. So you've got her.
She'll win.
I don't know about Gabby. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
It's a really big step up.
Going into the Olympics as favourite. It's all right going into the Olympics as a contender. You can work with that. You're the favourite. All eyes are on you. Everyone's looking to you. And you've never done a major championship before. This stage of being an elite athlete is mostly about the mental. She wasn't the favourite going into the US trials. Going into the US trials, this chick's not the favourite. So you're just going to run your rounds. You're trying to get there. You're now there. After this, I will know what kind of athlete she is.
Yeah. I would have thought the same thing about Sha'Carri, but we're not talking about Sha'Carri anymore.
No.
Just how they would have managed.
Yeah, let's just keep it.
She just happened to creep in my mind again. So.
Yeah, I know.
But I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Women's 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're on a Ting moves nuts spreadsheet.
Do you know what? I just really like her. She's so good for the sport. She's got a feist, she's got a confidence, she's not boring, but she's also not controversial in a way that's like in your face. She's just she speaks so well, but her way she runs, this chick ran 1:56.07, I think it was. She got clipped and nearly tripped over right at the beginning. Right. And we spoke about that. What's she going to do? Because she's never really that close to many people, right?
She handled that very well, actually.
See, now that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That was very telling.
It was
kept
like,
it moving.
It was.
She rolled with the bunches and kept it moving. And not only did she keep it moving, she got straight back the focus. Bow, you saw it on her face. Then it was like she tripped, got a little bit, and then bam, straight back to domination. She's number 1 in the world. I'm looking forward to seeing the 19-year-old phenom, A-Ting Mo, doing her ting. I keep calling her A-Ting, and it's A-Thing, but I feel like A-Ting sounds super cool. She calls herself Ting Ting anyway, innit? So, See, now I don't have any doubts about her. There's nothing that I have a doubt about. And one of the little side notes that got swallowed up and at any other time probably would have been a bit bigger news, but we didn't miss it because we don't miss anything, was that the ESPY nominations came out for Best Female College Athlete. And A-Ting Mo was not...
She wasn't even in
the talks. Softball, handball, soccer, they're the ones. Are you crazy? You can't. How are you comparing an individual from a team to an individual that's broken every single college record, every single junior world record, that's now won the national senior championships as a junior.
Is an individual Olympian and is number one in the world in her event. And won the NCAA championships in an event that isn't even her main event.
And broke all the records in both events, in the 400 and the 800. And you don't even have her on the list?
It's comical.
That's skullduggery.
I would love to know if she was even in the talks.
A couple people were going off, but this was literally in the midst of the whole Sha'Carri and
so it got
lost.
Right.
But it should never have got lost. And I am here to
Obviously.
speak. Not only should she have been nominated, she's clearly the best college female athlete in the US.
I agree.
By far. How is it even ranked that you could be the best in the world in a team? It's
not very clear. It's very arbitrary.
Right. But when you're just the best in the world, you're the best. So, but when she wins the Olympic gold medal, then they're going to feel like stupid fools. So, SBs, you got this one wrong. Ariane Naitan in the men's 200 broke all of Bolt's records.
I think it was telling that Noah still beat him in the final, though. I don't know how he's going to handle the rounds. Ariane.
Noah ran well.
He did run well.
I was surprised. I was not expecting it because I haven't really. He's been very shaky this year, and he's been a bit.
He still doesn't look like Noah, though.
No, he doesn't.
So I do think Andre DeGrasse is going to win the 200.
You think he's going to win the 200?
I do, at the very least, and he has a very strong chance to win both. I've been saying that though.
I like the way Andre performs at major championships. The thing about me is that I don't know him that well, but I've noticed that he just switches it on when he needs to, and I like that. That's the mental strength. You see that there?
Yeah, but you just have it or you don't.
You do. It's true.
Are you familiar with Shannon Sharp?
No.
Okay, Shannon Sharp is a former football player who's now a TV host on a show called Undisputed with Skip Bayless, and they debate about sports all the time. He's very impartial most of the time. But when it comes to LeBron James, you can't tell him nothing about LeBron James. Anything subjective or objective, or whichever one it is thrown out the window. No one can talk about LeBron. LeBron's the best, and he'll back him no matter what happens. I realize that I'm kind of like that with Andre. I really do feel like this year, I don't feel like anyone's going to beat him. With the way he's rounding into shape at the right time, he just has to be healthy going into the Olympics. We've had an Olympic champion in the 100 meters, but we've never had an Olympic champion in the 200 meters. Canada. So I'm just expecting people just know I'm talking about the Maple Leaf. But
Whatever.
Canada's never had a 200 meter Olympic champion. And we for sure haven't had a double champion in the 100 and the 200.
Do you know what cracks me up when I think back to like lockdown? And Andre just lying around on the couch with kids running around and him. He's like, man, and there's no training.
No.
And you've got other athletes, right? You're just seeing them posting all these videos of them like doing press-ups and sit-ups and figuring out workouts at home and circuits. And Andre's like, yeah. I was busting up. I was like, what is this dude doing? And he's like video calling you and his kids are jumping on his face and he's just lying there like dogs, man. I can't.
Like he doesn't know what the future holds.
I know, like,
and now the games are like 2 weeks away.
No, it's crazy to think back to that.
Monaco's going to be nuts. That 100's going to be crazy. But it doesn't really matter who wins in Monaco in any of the events.
No.
But it's a good way to just feel people out, I think.
Yeah, see, now that's an event. Unlike the men's 400 meter hurdles, that's an event this close, I think needs to happen because these boys have been like dodging each other. I just don't feel like it's going to be an anticlimactic situation if whoever wins, because I feel like still on the day anyone can win. Whereas,
that's the thing. The thing about 100 is if you run the same race a couple days later or a week later, the results will probably be different.
But I don't think that would happen in the 4 hurdles.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
So I feel like whoever won, it would be likely that...
An appetizer.
Yeah, no. This one over here. Anyway.
The rest of the summer is going to be crazy. And no, we're not going to see Sha'Carri at the games, but we will see her in some Diamond Leagues after the games. And while it may not be the same as seeing her against Shelly at the games, if I was Shelly and I go and win the Olympics, I can't go and lose to Sha'Carri afterwards. Because everyone will say, oh, you won the Olympics because she wasn't there.
Shut the season down.
Yo. I think
win the Olympics and just keep it moving.
I think that's what she might do. And it might be the smart move, the chess move, just like what Rye's doing. But dag, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But it would be this
But it would
quote-unquote
look a
smart
lot
move.
worse if you lose.
It would.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if I'm winning the Olympics, I'm not even running any meets afterwards.
Yeah.
It's done. Season over.
Go home, man. Go back to Jamaica. Do the parade. You know what I mean? Chill with the fam. You ain't got nothing else to prove. You're Shelley-Ann Fraser-Pryce. You've done it all. All I'm saying is that we have the countdown clock ticking to the 2020+1 Olympic Games.
Yeah.
In a few weeks' time.
But you know how when there's a countdown clock, you just push the button? Mm-hmm. This week of track and field kicked it with like a steel toe boot. But the most historic week of track and field now behind us.
Thanks for tuning in to the Unconventional Voices of Track and Field podcast. Follow, like, and join the conversation at Voices of TNF, as well as subscribe across all podcast platforms.